Hey there, my friends. Welcome. Destiny and I welcome you to this channel. And if you've landed here, I'm so excited to welcome you to this beginner yoga series. Every video, I'm going to go through step by step some of the main postures that you're going to encounter. I'm also going to teach you some AYAMA based muscle activation yoga practices to really help you build more stability and more strength in your body, engendering more confidence as you go back out into the world and do the things that you love to do, whatever that may be. So please enjoy this series. In the comments below, please let me know what kind of things that you would like to learn more about so I can make a video on that. I really would love to hear from you. Remember to click like if you enjoy this series, subscribe, and click that little bell so that you receive notifications every time I release more incredible life-transforming practices to help you manifest and live your life purpose. Namaste, my friends. Welcome back to this beginner series. On this series, for today, we're going to dive into a couple more postures that you'll probably tend to meet or see or practice in most of your yoga classes. So what I'd like you to do to start off with is you're going to bring your feet wide apart. Now, it's really important before we do any postures that we're warmed up. So if you haven't warmed up yet, I would advise you to go back to the first video in this playlist and do the warm-up and get your body prepared. Having said that, I am going to kind of ease you into this pose by warming up your lateral obliques. And so you'll be really conditioned and ready to do this. So we're going to practice a pose called triangle pose, Trikonasana. And then we're going to practice another pose called revolving triangle and then wide leg forward fold. So we got a lot to do this particular practice, this particular video. So widening your feet, we're going to turn the right foot to the right. What's really important here is that you squeeze the hips into midline. We don't want the hips to pop out. Now, a lot of times, a lot of yoga teachers actually cue it this way, which is a different way of cueing this pose, but in my opinion, it takes away from the actual benefits of this pose, which is to strengthen the muscles that are allowing the spine to side bend. So triangle pose is a side bender, okay? And we want to get those muscles stronger so that they actually can support the body as we're in this pose, okay? So squeezing the hips into the midline. Lift your right toes just for a moment because I want you to feel the firmness of this thigh. You're going to, again, squeeze the hips in. Don't allow them to pop out like this. So squeeze the hips in. If your hip kind of pops out like that, just leave your hand here for a moment. Cross your right arm. And then what you're going to do, and listen carefully, you're going to bring your right shoulder to your right hip bone. Okay? So sometimes you'll see people coming into this pose, they'll pop out and then bring the hand down. I can do that very easily, but look at how far I can get when I don't allow my hips to pop out. What we're really looking to do in this pose is strengthen the lateral obliques, to strengthen the muscles that allow the spine to contract over to the side laterally. We're going to put a little link in this video to another lesson that I gave on triangle pose if you want to unpack this pose a little bit more. I have a lot to say about this pose, and there's some wonderful muscle activation practices that you can do to help you find the full expression of Trikonasana. Trikonasana, by the way, is one of my favorite poses. There's so much going on in this pose, but the triangle in the tantric yoga tradition is symbolic for transformation. So that as we come into this pose, that we're really, truly embodying that idea that we are transforming into the best version of ourselves. So crossing your arms, again, if you want to leave your left hand here so it doesn't pop out, bring your right shoulder to the right hip bone and just feel these muscles here squeezing. It might be a new sensation for you. And then come back up. And then come back over. Nice. And come back up. And come back over. And come back up. And if you want to cross both arms, if you feel those hips or the integrity of those hips being maintained, come back over. And then come back up. One more little piece of the puzzle I just want to give you, come into it again. Is bring your hand to your navel center, your left hand to your navel center. Pull the navel a little bit to the left, just a little bit, and now come into the pose. So now you might feel the core is a little bit more engaged, and you're also not kind of collapsing by bringing the left shoulder towards the floor. You're actually bringing the back of the left shoulder blade to the back wall behind you. And come back up. And this time we're going to come into it and stay there. So crossing the arms, come into it, keep spiraling the navel upwards. And then this time what I want you to do is bring the left arm, reach up towards the sky. And then let the right hand just drop. Now, if this is too much, if you can't hold this, come up just a little bit more. That's fine. But I want you to be able to stay here for about 5 breaths. So inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Remember to turn the corners of your mouth upwards. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. And inhale deeply. And then exhale and come back up. And let's turn the right toes in just for a moment. Bring the hands just to your heart center. I want you to breathe there and just close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. As we start to explore some of these deeper, maybe more challenging, more expressive yoga postures, there's a lot of internal energy that's released, internal sensation. See if you can just become aware of that sensation as you breathe in and breathe out. Very good. Turn the left foot to the left this time. And bring the left shoulder to, cross your arms and bring the left shoulder to the left hip bone. Again, if you find yourself popping out, bring your right hand to the hip just to kind of stop that. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, come back over. Nice. And inhale, come back up. This time bring your hand to, the right hand to the navel, kind of twist, just a very small twist, like 2 degrees to the right. Keep that action as you bring the left shoulder to the left hip bone. Do you feel those muscles contracting, engaging on the left side? That's a great thing. We're starting to shorten them and hold them for about 6 seconds. And by doing so, come back up. We're connecting the brain to those muscles. We're improving that neuromuscular connection so that those muscles eventually will be able to contract properly and contract on demand if they're not already. So we're literally waking up the muscles. And we're doing it through the neuromuscular system. Bring the left shoulder to the left hip bone. Very nice. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, come back over. Very nice. This time, let the left hand come down and the right hand up. Don't reach for the leg or anything. Just let the hand stay there. Express yourself through your arms. So really expand through the clavicles. Feel them opening up. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. And then inhale, come back up. Turn the left toes in. And bring the hands to, this time, Namaste Mudra. Again, close your eyes and just feel for a moment the pranic energy that is awakening in you. Very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to do revolving triangle. And for this one, I want you to take 2 blocks, and I'm just going to wipe a little bit of the sweat off of me. Oh my goodness, the sun is out today. It's beautiful day in Costa Rica, but also really hot. So if you don't have 2 blocks, you have a couple of options here. One is that you can see a coffee table behind me. You can also use a coffee table and do the exact same thing with it, okay? So this is just such a great way to bring the floor up to you so that way you can find more ease and more steadiness in the pose. That's a really important idea as we're doing any kind of yoga posture. Yoga postures allow us to unlock reservoirs of energy in our body, and when there's struggle, we're actually not unlocking really that much. So what I want you to do is draw an imaginary triangle from your feet to a point in front of you. So I'm going to place my blocks here. Now if you don't have yoga blocks, you can probably go out and find some, and we'll put a link to the blocks that we recommend in the video notes, okay? So from here, take the arms out to the sides, and then exhale and bring the right hand down to the block and the left hand up to the sky, and squeeze the hips into midline, lengthen through the chest and heart. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, bring the left hand to the block this time, and the right hand up to the sky. Now, if your shoulder is hurting at all, the upper shoulder, just let the hand come to the back. You don't have to bring the arm up. Inhale, come back up. I'll do the next ones without my upper arm. Right hand to the block. Bring your left hand to your lumbar spine and just twist as much as you can. Inhale, come back up, navel to spine. And exhale, take the left hand down, and the right hand just rests on lumbar spine as you twist. Nice. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, and bring the right hand down. Left hand, if you want to, you can bring it up to the sky now. And inhale, come back up. Really important to breathe as we're doing this. Exhale, left hand down, and right hand comes up. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, right hand down and left hand up. And inhale, come back up. And exhale, left hand down. This time we're going to hold the pose. So I'm going to leave my right hand on the lumbar spine just for a moment. See if you can bring the chest forward, but then bring the right shoulder back as you bring the left shoulder towards the wall that you're looking at, or piece of furniture, or person, or me. Inhale deeply, lift up through the inner arches. Spiral a little bit more. Very lovely. You're really starting to make the twist happen at the navel center. So you want to keep that integrity of the hips coming into midline as much as possible as you twist open. Good. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, relax down. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Inhale, bring the arms out. And exhale, bring that right hand to the block and start to twist to your left now. Keep the hips squeezing into midline. And then if you want to, you can bring the hand up to the sky. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. And then inhale, come back up, navel to spine. Exhale, bring the hands together. Namaste Mudra. Just kind of pause here for a moment. Close your eyes. There's just so much energy that begins to move through the body, and there's this invitation to become more sensitive to that energy. As you become sensitive to the energy, we can rechannel it, refocus it, redirect it. Okay, so from here, bend the knees a little bit. You're going to take the blocks and bring them to their highest point. Now, if you don't have blocks, again, you can use a coffee table. And if you don't have a coffee table, if you're watching this in the park, you can just bend the knees here. So we can start to bend the knees. But it is nice to do this on something. So if you have something available. And what we're going to do is bring the hands again to your hips. Now, feel the inner legs lifting upwards all the way to the inner groins. Very nice. Press down into the outer edges of the feet. Take the sides of the belly in and lift up at the pubic bone. And if you don't know where the sides of your belly are, bring the hands to your belly and literally squeeze the flesh towards the midline. Squeeze the flesh inwards. Very nice. Inhale, lift the chest and heart, and exhale, start to come forward. Good. Inhale, come back up. We'll do that a couple of times. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, and come forward. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, come forward. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, come forward. Now this time I want you to bring your hands to the blocks or to the floor that's underneath your shoulders. If you can't reach the floor comfortably, just bend the knees, okay? But as you're here, feel that the hips are squeezing in. I want you to apply about 5% effort and also squeeze the feet towards each other, just 5% effort. So don't try so hard. Lift up through the inner arches of the feet, press down into the outer edges of the feet. Now bring the chest forward, and even if you want to, you can come up on your fingertips. This is a nice variation. And just draw the chest forward. So we did this pose in one of the sequences called Cobra or Bhujangasana, which is kind of like a little bit of a back bend here. Think about doing Cobra right now, just lifting the chest and heart, press down into the outer edges of the feet. Relax the back of your neck a little bit. Inhaling deeply and exhaling deeply. Inhaling deeply and exhaling deeply. Take 2 more breaths. As you begin to slow the breath down, sometimes you find this kind of inner stillness, that your mind just draws inwards. And the longer we hold the poses, the more it creates this opportunity for the mind to go inwards. Long ago, you learned that happiness was outside of yourself. But in yoga, we start to teach the mind that actually the kingdom of happiness is within us. And so we slowly, over time, start to retrain the mind to go inward so that it can become at peace, become still, and find that sense of contentment within ourselves. From here, just bend the knees a little bit. Can you lengthen your chest as you bring your hands to your waist and slowly come up navel to spine. Bring the feet towards each other. Bring the hands to Namaste Mudra. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Thank you so much, my friends, for practicing with me today in these poses. We're going to come back and finish the practice as I go through some final poses that you're going to come to expect in my yoga classes and in many other yoga classes. All right, so namaste. Have a super wonderful day.